Alright everyone, welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors. Just getting fired up for the morning. Did things a little bit different this morning. I did go check the couple coyote sets out on our land here. Not that I haven't had time to do it the last few days, but as soon as I start checking beaver traps, I've been leaving my waders on, and then I gotta come home, change again, go check those couple traps, then come back and change again, you know, to get into my skinning gear and all that. So thought, well, as long as I had all the gear in there last night, we're just gonna leave it in there, and then I can run and check them this morning. So I did that. Nothing today again. I don't know, I was getting a lot of pictures of coyotes running by them sets, but boy, it sure has not paid off. Got the badger caught that I had pictures of over there, but not the coyotes. So with that said, it is Saturday. We're pulling beaver sets tomorrow. We're pulling the rest of the line on Monday. So we're gonna run status quo today again. If I do make catches, like coyote catches or something like that, I'll have to kind of play it by ear whether I remake the sets or not. It's just a matter of how, whether or not I think it's worth having it there for a day or two here until I pull it. So, you know, you got the cost of bait and lure and everything to put there to remake it. Kind of weigh that against my chances of making catches there. There's some spots I'll be remaking 100%, but there's other spots if I have two sets right next to each other and I catch an animal in one set, I may pull that set as long as there's one already set in there that's still working. So yeah, I think that's about all I got for you guys. Like I said, tonight when I get home, we're gonna unload. I probably don't even need it today, but we're gonna leave it in there. Tonight when I get home, we're gonna take this milk crate out. So that's got all new traps that have never been set this year in there, except for the 160 on top. That one had been set, but we're gonna set that out, and we're gonna get me empty totes in here for water gear and for coyote traps and dog proofs. So so like I said, basically in the next couple days, we'll be ready to go to pull the line. The Weasel box, I still don't know what to do with. I probably won't be setting it out anywhere today. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the other ones I have out. If I'm going to pull them tomorrow or wait till Sunday on those. The weather has changed just a little bit, and it's going to stay this way for the next 48 hours or so. It turned to a south wind blowing 15 to 20, and it's going to be like that all day today, I think through most of the night tonight, and then all day tomorrow. So could be a little bit raw out on the line. We'll do what I can again. We'll do what I can. Again, that'll weigh into whether I remake a set or not today. I did refill my peat moss container as long as I'm in the yard and there's no wind here. So I could remake about 10 sets with that. So I shouldn't have to probably refill it at all the rest of the season here, but we'll see. I'm okay if I do, because if I do, that means I'm making catches and coyote sets. So yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, I got the hot rod warmed up here. We're gonna get going. Let's get out on the line, see if I got anything for you. All right, guys, I'm just getting going. Only a few sets in. I got 2 coyote sets up here with nothing in it. I got a raccoon set on the other side of the road. Big drainage ditch runs here, and it runs on the other side of the road for a few miles. I got a conibear right down here with nothing in it, but I'm pretty sure I got a Weasel box right here. Yesterday I had a Weasel in here, and I'm pretty sure looking in that hole, it kind of looks white down in there. Boom, Weasel. So 2 days in a row I caught one here. This one's a good sized one, way bigger than the one I caught yesterday. Still got just a tick of brown in there, but I can't really do anything about that. I got to trap when I have time here. So that's the 4th one for the year. So that ties a season best for me. But we are going to pick this box up now because it's 2 weasels in the same box here. So we're going to pick this box up and keep on checking the line. It's a good sized weasel one, probably as big as the biggest one I had yesterday, but bang, 4 weasels in 2 days so far. Well, yeah, in 2 checks anyway. All right, we'll get him and the box back up to the truck and we'll keep on moving. Well, why not, I guess. All I could do is laugh at myself here. So I'm literally to the next spot. I have a coyote set up on the end of this draw, or outside of this draw. I caught big raccoon in and a coyote. Down here in the bottom of this, I got a dog proof back here, and I got one right here. I think I've caught 2 raccoons and a skunk down in here, but I put a weasel box in here because might have been last year, year before, there was weasel tracks running right down the bottom of this once we got a little bit of snow. So I thought, well, we'll give it a shot this year. And from up on the road up there, I don't need binos to see this, so. So that's what I'm looking for right there. So I'm 2 weasel boxes in today, and bingo, we got ourselves the 2nd one of the day. Ooh, that's a really big one. I think that one's even bigger than the last one. That might be one of the biggest weasels I've ever caught, to be quite honest with you. He's not huge, he's still a short-tail weasel, but he's pure white though. He's got no brown in him or anything like that, but that's a big weasel for me. Like I said, I think that may be the biggest one, or I'm pretty sure it's the biggest one I've ever caught. So looks like he's got some fleas on him or something on there. I don't know. He'll ride around in the back of the truck. He won't be in the truck, but so we're gonna pick up this box again. I don't know what's even here for weasels, so I don't want to trap every weasel out of the whole country either. So that one there is a new personal best for a season for me. I've only ever caught 4 in a season. I did that a couple times, and bingo, there's the 5th one for me this season. That's the most I've ever caught in a season, and I've only had my sets out, I don't know, this might be like the 5th check on them, and I got 5 weasels. So we'll get this guy in the box picked up here. Like I said, I don't know what else is here. I did catch a mouse in here early on. You can see part of the mouse is in there, but yeah, that's a big weasel. Bingo. So yeah, we'll pick this box up and we'll keep on moving. All right, guys, we're making her through the line. Even the muskrat sets were dead today, so, but we did make another catch here. So we got a big draw system over there. We got another one kind of in front of the truck that goes back up behind this big farm place. I've caught, I think, a coyote and 3 raccoons down there by these trees right here. And I have another set along that line over there, the west line. Nothing has messed with that set the entire time. And then right here, I actually have 2 coyote sets. I had a double here, like one of the first checks. I got a set here and the other one's right over here. These sets haven't been messed with because I drive through right here every day, and they have not been messed with for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks probably 2.5 for sure. Well, since like the 3rd or 4th check, they have not been messed with. So with that in mind, like I talked this morning, we're going to actually leave that coyote set because it's still working just fine. But we're going to get this guy out of here, and I'm actually just going to pull this trap rather than remaking it. Because I do have a set here, and like I said, I got 2 more down there. So for a couple more checks here, I'm not too worried about having one less trap back here. Because again, we do have a trap right over here. So yeah, I got a nice big raccoon in here, well furred. He's big. He's probably in that 25-pound range. That's the thing about trapping, like, you know, there's no water anywhere around here. I mean, maybe down in one of these draws there might be a little bit of a spring or something, but there's no water. And generally when you do that, I catch big male raccoons. You know, and this guy is just a big barrel with legs the way it looks. He's kind of got his own little cubby made out of grass, but I'm pretty sure he's back foot caught in my coyote set here. But all right, so I thought about this as I went and checked the other ones down here. You know, I went like 4 days on 40 with only 49 raccoons caught, and I was beginning to wonder if I was going to break that 50 mark. Yesterday, of course, I broke 50. Well, there's 51. So kind of, I don't know, but I went like 4 days without catching one, you know, wondering if I was going to do it. And now we've got 2 in 2 days again here, so still racking them up. That's, you know, new personal bests every time I catch one. Weasel's the same way, Muskrat's the same way right now. It'd be new season best every time I catch another one. So with that in mind, we'll get this guy out of here. Like I said, we're gonna just pull this set for today and keep on moving. All right, guys, so we're to the first beaver house here. So again, we got this beaver house. I would consider this part of the feed bed here, and then they got another chunk of it out over there. So yesterday I had a foothold right here, and the beaver was still alive, swinging back and forth. And then on that side over there, I had a conibear, which my stand is sprung open again today, which typically means there's a catch. My caster mount has been smudged just a little here. I gotta find where it's shallow, get me into the water here. So these corn stalks and stuff look like they've been disturbed. So I had them all kind of laying like this on both sides of this. I don't know if my trap is still here or not, but so that's part of it. We gotta be real careful here because there still may be a live trap sitting here. So well, my trap is gone. And there is a beaver. Looks like he pulled my bottom of my pole again, which I still don't know how, because this bottom is like super, super hard. But I would say this is the female. I had the male caught yesterday. I thought maybe, oh. All right, we're gonna set you down just for a sec here. All right. It's a good sized beaver again. Probably it's the female. You could see the teats on there, which is surprising that you could still see them in the fall. Rarely can you ever see them. Got a giant tail on it again. I don't know if it's just the size of these beavers or if I'm not getting it pushed into the, I mean, I'm pushing, I figured like 18 inches or more of it down into the hard bottom down there, but somehow they're getting it pulled out of there. And today the guy was drowned. Yesterday he was still alive, but that's a nice sized beaver there. We'll take that. So pair of big guys out of here. The way the teats look on this guy, I would be surprised if there's not some little ones here too, but you know, that this one's a little smaller, I would say, than yesterday's. But yeah, big beaver nonetheless. All right, let's see if we can. I'm gonna leave that beaver. Grab my setters here. Now, seems like you got to be super careful around these beaver houses because everything is sharp and pointy. Okay. Again, I think yesterday I had just kind of put you guys, set you up something like that. think you guys should be able to see. Okay, so again, my H stand is sprung open. That typically means the trap is set off. And for the second day in a row, we got ourselves a muskrat. This one was coming back in. That's 310 muskrats now for the season. So we're gonna reset these. I got one more check on them. So we'll get both of these reset here and we'll keep moving on. Get that beaver drug up to the pickup, and I got a few sets to check before we get to the other beaver house, but big beaver and a muskrat. Same thing I had yesterday. All right, everyone, we're to the second beaver house here. Haven't checked nothing yet. We're just gonna go around like I did yesterday. We'll check each set as I get to it and show you the real time. Again, I got a pretty decent sized swough here, and then there's a giant swough over that way that this summer they were plugging up a culvert up on the other end of that swough. And this is the only beaver house that we know of around that they could get to there. And there is a channel between this swough and that swough kind of up over here where they can just swim from one swough to the other. So, well, I got a set off trap with nothing in it over there. This trap is set off and down the slider. So it ain't even... So that one just got a little bit of cattails, but it's slid down a foot maybe. That's not ideal. So we got a 330 here, another one over there. Just get me down in the run here. I don't see nothing yet. It's not feeling very heavy. It's because it's got a real little muskrat caught. So that I feel like is the best run of the whole house. It had a muskrat in there yesterday too. And then right here, so this house, it only has a real small feed bed, and I did catch a 43 pounder out of here yesterday, so there is a chance that that is the only beaver that was here. But and then I'm into this run. I wonder if I can... I'm pretty sure that trap is still set. Yep, that trap is still set. And then over here, I had the raccoon caught in here yesterday and he kind of destroyed my set. But you can see right here's my foothold. I had a caster mound. I kind of used all these cattails to block her, and I had a caster mound right here, but my whole caster mound's completely gone. So I'm wondering maybe if I didn't have a raccoon again, the way things are they're leveled off here again, almost like I had a raccoon caught again. So, well, ain't that a bummer. 4 sets here, and all I got is 1 small muskrat. So we'll get the 2 footholds remade, get that muskrat out of that conibear, and keep on moving. Like I said, that's a bummer, but I'm not so sure that there's more than just that 1 beaver in here, because there's no fresh mud over on that side of the house today either, like there was yesterday. So not that that necessarily means anything, but I don't know. All right, let's get these all remade and keep on moving. All right, guys, we're making our way through the last few traps of the line here. Got a dog proof right here. Still got bait. I kind of put it here because it looked like they're coming through over here and over here. But I have yet to catch a single animal in that dog proof. What I got is a guy's farm place here. He was telling me he had problems with raccoons coming right up to his front step eating his cat food. And then we got a big drainage ditch runs out here. I had intentions of getting a coyote set out here and I never did get one there. But today, we got a raccoon over here again. So I think this is the third raccoon out of this set and at least one skunk in here. So basically from where that set is, there's a woven wire fence all the way along here for quite a ways. But right here and right here, there's holes going through the fence. So that's the reason why I put my trap here, because I figured, well, they're coming through the fence right there. And whether they're coming through the fence or they're walking along the edge here, whatever they're doing, they're going through here. So yeah, just a dog proof set on the edge of the field here. And something keeps stealing my golf balls. If you notice, my golf balls are gone over there. I think between here, down over this way, and up over this way, I think I've lost like 10 golf balls here now. And I finally just quit putting more on there, so. But we'll reset this one because I still got to check that one. Or if I was going to pull this one, I'd pull that one too. But these two will leave here till Monday so 2 more checks on them. So I'll rebait it, and you never know, I might have another catch here in the next couple days. But a little smaller raccoon than the first one, but pretty darn well furred the way it looks. Looks like a little puff ball, so well, that's kind of cool. I don't know what he's doing, but all right, let's get him out of here. We'll get the set remade and keep on moving. I think I got 1 coyote set and 4 raccoon sets to check, and then we'll be home. All right, everyone, we are home. Nothing else in the last few sets, which, you know, sort of predictable. I mean, I did make catches and some of those, you know, I got a fox and a badger in the 1 coyote set that I had left, and got a couple skunks in the 1 set. So there's chance that I catch them in those last few sets, but I think the chances are kind of waning every check. So, so yeah, we're gonna quick go through what I got caught today and go through a little bit of that. Right away, we're going to show you the beaver here. So I got him hooked up to my scale. Just going to winch him up here. Oh boy. Just so he's off the ground. Get him to stop spinning. Well, I know you guys can't really tell, but that's a 6 because the up and over isn't working on my thing. So 61.4. So she's bigger than I thought she was going to be. I figured she was about the same as the one yesterday, which was only 56. So big female and a big male out of there. I don't know why she's spinning around. Yeah, 56 pounder. I mean, and like I said, her teats are still showing, which is very odd for this time of year. I think that's the first time ever I've ever seen that. So I don't know if she's nursing some small ones in there still. I really don't know what's going on there, but we're gonna run. I got 1 330 blocking a run there that I keep catching muskrats in, and I reset the caster mount. So we'll see tomorrow. If there's any other littler ones in there, if there's any sign of any other ones. If there's other beaver there, they may just end up staying there for another year because, again, I'm pulling traps tomorrow there. So the other beaver house, a little bit of a disappointment today. I'm pretty sure Raccoon had set off the 1 foot hold. The other one, I don't know. And then, yeah, just to have 1 muskrat and the 2 330s walking the runs. So that's a little disappointing. The muskrat line, a little bit disappointed today because the only 2 muskrats I caught were in the 2 beaver sets. So landline did okay today. Not as, you know, boom as yesterday, but still did pretty darn good. So we'll go over the rest of the catches. So this one here is the last one I just caught half an hour ago. He is very, very well furred. Beautiful thick pelt on him, super silky. He's a little bigger than I thought he was. I thought maybe he was just a young of the year raccoon, but I don't think that's a young of the year. I think he's too big for that. So And then this is the first one I caught back in the Coyote set. He's got a little more, he's well furred, but his hair is a little more coarse. This one here is nice and long and silky, like it's just smooth on the hand. This one here, it's more like rough and coarse. I don't know, I'm sure that's considered a different section raccoon, but I don't know. The nice silky smooth one, I would sure, he's a lot silverier colored, a little better. This guy's just kind of yellowish. I mean, they both got some yellow in their tail, but this guy here just isn't quite as nice colored, and he just isn't quite as nicely furred. I don't know how to explain that other than the hair just is a little like crinkly on this guy, where this guy is nice and silky smooth. So, again, decent sized raccoon. He's probably 20 pounds. I thought he was a little bigger than that when he was in the set, but probably a 20 pounder. This one here is probably like, a good 15 pounder, I bet. Yeah, and then we got these two guys. So this is the first weasel of the day. Basically in the first weasel box, you can see he's still got a little bit of brown in the tail and a couple kind of spots up here on his back. You know, that one's about the same size as the biggest one I had yesterday. And then we got the second one I caught today, which is probably the biggest weasel I've ever caught. If it's not, it's got to be gosh darn close. But you just put the two up, you know, you can see like this one's way thicker, you know, even getting the heads in line. This one's a hole from here longer, so a good inch or more longer just laying there. You know, I know they're kind of stiff and, you know, ain't weighing exactly identical, but, you know, nose to nose, there's still this one here, quite a bit bigger weasel. Again, probably the biggest one that I've ever caught, to be honest, around here. And again, all we have is short tails around here. At least that's all I've ever caught. I heard rumors that there might be least weasels here, but all I've ever caught is short tails. So two more weasels. So this one here has a little more significance than that just being the biggest one I've ever caught. That is the fifth one for the year. Fifth one in 2 checks here, but I've never caught more than 4 weasels in one season. So new personal best on the weasels. This makes 52 raccoons, so new personal best again for raccoons. And then we got these two guys. Neither one are real big, probably gonna stretch probably larges if I had to guess. Both caught my beaver sets, but this makes 310 and 311 muskrats for the year. So keep adding on to that personal best too. So kind of an all-around personal best day. This beaver here is the 5th beaver for the year. That was my goal for the year going in the year, is to catch about 5 beavers. And I've caught 5 all big beavers. I have not caught any little ones this year. So, you know, I got 2 over 55. This one's over 60. So I guess 3 over 55. This one's over 60. And a couple 40 pounders. So yeah, catching big beavers. That again matched my goal for the year, was only 5. I didn't really know where there was a lot of beaver going into the season. Somebody beat me to the one house. One house doesn't look like it's any activity there. Where I trapped the very first beaver, there's another beaver there, just got the best of me. So beaver trapping hasn't been my thing this year, but we're still catching big beavers. So yeah, one more check on the beaver line. I think we're gonna probably pull mink sets tomorrow too. We're gonna pull a few of the weasel boxes tomorrow. I kind of hate to do it. It isn't gonna really make that much difference. Again, I got 5 already, which is, you know, was my goal for the year too. So only just because I had only caught 4 in the past, and I built some more boxes this year, hoping to catch more than I had in the past, and I've done that already. So so far I picked up 3 of the boxes, so I still got 9 out there to check tomorrow. And like I said, I think at least 1 I'm gonna pull. We'll see, maybe up to as many as probably 3. I don't know, we'll just kind of see as we get going through the line. And they don't take up a terrible amount of room, but they do take up some room. When I first got home here, I stopped by and I threw a few things out, and I grabbed a couple totes. So I did have a milk crate sitting over here that had kind of a few of everything. It had some dog proof, some conibears, some MB550s all sitting in there. Well, I'm obviously not going to be setting new sets, so I took that out of there. This one here has a couple used MB550s in there, and then this has some bait clips and stuff from water trapping, and then one water trap in there. So the blue toad, we're gonna throw mink traps in. Probably the drowning cables, I'll just throw in there so they're all together. The plates will just set in here. But any of the muskrat sets, when I pull the rest of the muskrat sets on Monday, we're going to throw them into that blue tote. You know, I'll take it out of here. All the coyote traps should fit in that black one, so we're going to throw them in there. Tomorrow I won't be bringing, or tomorrow I'm going to bring it, but when I pull the line, I won't have my raccoon pail in here. So these two milk crates will be throwing dog proofs and conibears in. You know, like 220s and 160s. The raccoon line's all going to be in the two milk crates, coyote traps in the black one, and muskrat traps and mink traps in that one. So, and then the beaver traps tomorrow I'll just throw in here. You know, just set them in here, and then I'll set them out when I get home. I'll just swing by the trap and shed and set them out. So, all right, I think that's all I got for you guys today. I made it through the line in pretty good order today. So yeah, I do have a little extra time, which is nice because I got a couple projects I want to get done here in the next day or so. So, well, probably this afternoon we'll get them done. So I think with that, yeah, like I said, we're kind of winding down the line. I hate pulling traps early, but I also know that there's some that are going to be a bugger to get to. So where I had the otter yesterday, those traps, there's two coyote traps there, and then that otter set, I'm going to pull those tomorrow as well. So I'll be pulling a couple coyote sets there. And then I have one spot where there's a couple muskrat trail sets. I'm going to pull the two there. I haven't caught anything in about 3 days there anyway, and I have to drive a good mile or more out of my way just for those two sets. So we're going to pull those tomorrow too. Then on Monday when I'm pulling the rest of the line, I don't need to go that way. So yeah, we're going to dwindle down the line a little bit tomorrow, and then like I said, Monday we're going to yank everything else. So I don't think I really got too much else for you guys. Like I said, we're going to get this stuff skinned. I got a couple other things, as long as I should be able to skin in the daylight, and then I got a couple other things I can do in the daylight here too. So with that said, I appreciate you guys riding around with me all year, and especially today, following along with the catches and how my season's been going, because like I said, to me it's been bonkers all year. Otherwise, we'll see you guys out on the line tomorrow.